Hello, students, and anyone else who may be watching from home. This is Mr. Borges, also known as Zanzolo, and today we're going to be talking about our next project here in Canvas. So see, you can hear we have a new button called Game Show. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it's going to bring us to our Game Show page. So right here is where the video you're watching right now will be. You can always click this button right here, and it's a recording of me reading everything that's on this page. You'll see our checklists are starting to get a little bit long. Refer to them though, right? If you make sure you have everything on this checklist, then you're going to know that your project is done. If you're missing things from this checklist, it's not done yet. Okay, and then here's an example of this project. So looking at this checklist, I'm thinking I want to make this assignment worth more than 20 points. I think I put 20 in here, but actually there's like twice as many things in here as a normal project. Let's make it worth more points. Just make sure you get it done, because if you don't get it done, then that is going to hurt you more than normal. It's totally doable, though. We're going to get it done. Here's an example of the project. I'm going to go over this with you, and then we will take a look at the checklist. So, right, you can see this is project saying something different that you might not have seen before on one of your projects. It says this project can detect who's using it through the username block. We're going to talk about how we use username blocks. To hide your identity, sign out before using this project. I'm signed in, so it's going to know who I am. I'm going to go ahead and click this. You'll see that happens right away. When I click the green flag, the project says, "Welcome, Zanzo." It already knows it's me. Right? We do that with the username block, and we're going to show you how you're going to do that with the username block. Okay, then Scratchcat's using an ask block to ask me questions. You can see I have points here. Right now I don't have any points, but it's keeping track of my points. If I enter an incorrect answer or whatever else, Scratchcat's going to play sound and let me know. Wrong. SpongeBob's pants are not what? They're square. Right? You have 0 points, and it lets you know how many points you have after each question. Right? Then it asks you another question. I want to get this one correct. It's going to play a different sound. It tells me that I got it correct, and then awards me a point. Now you can see I have 1 point. 1 point. Points, whatever, right? Then asks the other questions. So, right, if you get these questions wrong, it's going to tell you, hey, the answer is not duh. It tells you what the correct answer is, and I still only have 1 point, right? If you get the questions correct, then it lets you know that. So there's 5 questions. Your project's going to have at least 5 questions. It can have more than that. Then, right, the answer to life, the universe, and everything isn't huh. It's 42. Okay, I have 2 points. Now it tells you game over. Try again, Zenzo. You missed some. Right? The project is checking. It's using an if-then-else block. It's basically an if block. It's checking if I got 5 points or not. If I did, it gives me one message. If I didn't, it gives me another message. And then you're going to test this project different ways, because it's going to do different things. So when you're thinking you're done, you need to check projects. As your projects get a little bit more complex, your checking of them needs to become a little bit more complex. So, right, you're going to have to test it more than one way. You're going to test it by missing a few on purpose. You're going to have to see what happens. Then you're going to test it again by getting them all right on purpose and see what happens on that one too. Earthworm Jim's big red gun is red. You have 3 points. When I say Roy G. Biv, what does the letter G stand for? The answer to that one is green. All right? It tells you correct. The G in Roy G. Biv stands for green. You have 4 points. What is the answer to life, the universe, and everything? The answer to this question is 42. Correct. The answer to life, the universe, and everything is 42. You have 5 points. Now it's checking if I have 5 points or not. It says game over. You win, Zanzolo. You got them all correct. It's checking that with another if block. Okay, so that's the big idea. Let's go over the checklist now and make sure you understand everything your project needs to have. So you're going to have a sprite that asks the questions. I just use Scratchcat. Use Scratchcat if you want. Use whatever you want. All right, draw your own. Find something on the internet. You're going to reset and keep track of points or money or however you want to keep track of it, right? Whatever you want to call it in your game show. But you're going to have a variable that you use. You're going to reset it to what you want it to start at. And you're going to keep track of it after each question. You're going to tell the player how many points or money or whatever they have after each question. You can see my project was doing that. We'll talk about how we do that also. It's just another say block with some join blocks. And you can say the variable value. You're going to ask 5 questions with 5 ask blocks. think we get that after the ask challenge. Then you're going to use 5 if, then, else blocks. We're going to talk about if, then, else. It works a lot like if, except it lets you pick something, 2 things to do. You could pick something to do if it's true, or you can pick something else to do if it's false. And we're going to talk about that. Then you're going to write 2 replies for each question, one if they get it correct and one if they get it wrong. All right, so I want you to include the last answer in the reply if they were wrong. In other words, if they miss it, I want you to tell them the right answer. Okay. Then at the end of the game, tell the player if they got them all correct or not. Your project's going to have to check that with an if block. Then you're going to get a better title than untitled, some instructions, and submit that to Canvas. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new project here. Let's go back to Scratch, escape from here, and create a new project. And I am not going to show you the entire creation of this project. It would take longer than I want this video to be. But I'm going to show you how to get started, and then you're going to do something 5 times. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do that 1 or maybe 2 times. So when the green flag is clicked, we're going to welcome the player. We're going to say, hello, Zanzolo, with an exclamation point, or hello, whatever your name is. Hello, username, whatever that is. So we're going to join 2 things together. We're going to say, we want Scratchcat to say something. What are they going to have them say? We're going to join 2 things together. One of them is going to see hello space username, and that's a sensing block called username. Now this block is equal to your username. When you're logged in, I'm logged in. It knows that I'm Zanzolo. When you're logged in and you click this block, it's going to say your username. If somebody else is logged in, it's going to say their username. So there we go. Now Scratchcat's going to say hello, Zanzolo. If I want to put some punctuation or anything at the end, I want to put an exclamation point or something at the end, I'm going to have to join that on also. It takes 1 more join block. This is the stuff in the front. Put it in the front of the join block. And then the back was going to be my exclamation point. So I can join as many things together as I want with multiple join blocks. It's going to say, hello, Zanzolo. And I can make Scratch say that. Hello, Zanzolo. Right? Instead of saying hello, we're going to say something like, welcome, space, Zanzolo. Space after the username, get ready to play, or whatever it is that you want to say. Right, so then when you click the green flag, it's going to say that. Welcome, Zanzolo, get ready to play. And you can, of course, adjust the timing of how long your project says that. Use a different sprite if you want. Right? Change things around. Get an interesting backdrop. Get an interesting thing. You see that I drew a little podium. In my example, I drew a little podium for Scratch and got a background. I even put a silly little hat on them. I'm not going to do that right now while you're watching because it's gonna take kind of too long for what I want it to do. Right, but you're going to create your own interesting situation, right? Get your own sprites, get your own backdrops and stuff for your project. Okay, now we want this project to have points or money or whatever. So with the number we have to keep track of, it's going to vary. It's going to be a variable. We're going to go to the variable tab and make a variable. Now for this one, I'm just going to call it score. You could call it money. You could call it points. You could call it lives. Maybe you lose lives as you miss questions or something, but you're going to create your variable. And then you're going to, at the beginning of your project, you're going to set your variable to what it's supposed to start at. Now mine, score, set score to 0 because I want score to start at 0. If you were doing 9 lives or something, maybe you would start your cat at 9. You'd call the variable lives. You would set it to 9 at the beginning. And then each time you miss one, maybe you subtract a life or something. Right, so you're going to keep track of your points however you decide to do your points in a similar way. You'll reset it at the beginning. Then we're going to ask a question. Right? In this case, right, I'm just gonna keep it really simple. Right? So we're going to say, what is 1 plus 1? Now that's a little bit too easy for a lot of you, but we just need a question to get the idea. So then what we're going to do is there's going to be an answer to that question. And the answer is going to go into this answer block. It's blank right now because no one's ever answered any questions. So if we say, what is 1 plus 1? And I'm going to say 3. Right? Number 3 is what gets saved in here as my answer. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use this block, and it's a new block we haven't talked about in class yet. We've talked about if. We're going to be now talking about if, then, else. Right? The first part, if you just cover up this else part, it works exactly the same as this. Exactly the same. And actually, if you just don't put anything in here, it is exactly the same. But now what we do is we have a different option to where we can put something in here if this stuff is the truth, but we can also have a different choice. We can branch to something else if whatever in here is false. And that's the big idea. So what we want to do is we want to check if they got the answer correct. Well, we know what the correct answer should have been. So we're going to check if it's equal. We're going to check if two things are equal. We're going to check if the answer that the user just gave is equal to what we know it should have been. We do know what the right answer was. It should have been 2. So we're going to check if the answer is equal to 2. Now it's not, right? It's 3 right now. So is 3 equal to 2? False. It's not. See? So then we're going to check if false. Well, then that would go down here and do these blocks. And if it's true, right? So if we do this again, this time we put in the correct answer 2. Now the answer is 2. Now we can say 2 equals 2. Is that the truth or not? It is the truth. Right? So these if blocks are going to be able to branch one way or the other if it's the truth or if it's not the truth, whatever happens in here. So this is how we're going to check our answer. We ask a question, then we're going to use an if then else block to check if answer equals what we know the answer should have been. If it does, we're going to say something. And if it doesn't, we're going to say something else. So we're going to put something on here. We'll say that for a minute. So what are we going to say? Well, if they get it correct, we're just going to tell them they got it correct. So you're going to say something. Correct. Answer was 2. And then if they get it right, that's when they should have got a point in my version of the game that I'm playing. Right? So that's when I'm going to go to variables and we're going to change the score by 1. That happens at the same time that we tell them that they got it correct. And actually, I think it's fun to play a sound or something in there also, so you can also play a sound. Now, I think Scratch Cat's meow is way too loud, and I don't like that, so I'm just going to spam this to be way quieter so it's less obnoxious. There we go. And now we're going to also go ahead and start the sound when they get it correct. So we'll play a sound, tell them that they got it correct, give them a point. If answer equals 2. If answer doesn't equal 2, if the answer they gave is anything else, we're going to do this stuff down here. Right? So stuff down here, they're not going to get a point. Right? We can tell them, we're going to say, they got it wrong. Wrong. And then we're going to tell them the correct answer was, we know what it was. We could just say 2. We can just type it in. Right? But I want you to use their answer in here also. So you're going to add an extra piece when it was wrong. You're going to tell them, right, the answer was not the correct. The answer they gave is not the correct thing. So what I mean by that is we're going to have to join some stuff together using join blocks again. So we're going to join. What we're going to do is we're going to say wrong. Right, wrong, space, and then we're going to put their answer that they gave, whatever that was. So now it's going to say wrong, 2. Now I need to be able to say is incorrect. So I need to be able to join some more stuff off the end of this. That's when I need another join block. This is the stuff that's going to go in the front. I'm putting it in the front of this join block. I want to put some more stuff at the back of this, so it's going to go here. Wrong, 2, space, is not the right answer, something like that. The correct answer is 2. So we let them know. So check it out. Wrong, 2 is not the right answer. The correct answer is 2. We can make Scratch Cat say that. Wrong, 2 is not the right answer. See, it was definitely not there long enough. So let's try 3 seconds. Wrong, 2 is not the right answer. The correct answer is 2. Might even try 3.5 or 4 seconds. Give them enough time to read it. And they don't get a point in that situation. Okay, so we ask the question. We use an if, then, else block to decide, right? To test if they got it correct or not. Then do something. We're going to branch. Do something if they got it correct. Do something if they get it wrong. And then either way, we're going to tell them after we're done asking the question, we're going to tell them how many points they have. And so we're going to need to join some stuff onto that. That's going to be the variable block. So here's our variable block. It's called score. Right now it's set to 0. Right? If I would have gotten it correct, here, let's just run it again and get it correct. Welcome. So we'll get ready to play. What's the answer is 2. It tells me that the correct answer is 2, and now I can see that my score is no longer 0. It's 1. Right? I want to tell them whatever it is. Maybe it's going to be 0, it's going to be 1. We're going to tell them how many points they have. So we're going to join some stuff together. We're going to start out by saying, right, and I know I'm doing this kind of backwards, but I'm just showing you, right? I want Scratch Cat to say, you have however many points you have, like that right number to put in there. So I'm going to have to join some stuff together to do that. So the part that's going to go in the front is going to be you have space, and then the number of points you have that's in this variable right here, score. Now I'm going to have something else after that so I can say the word points or whatever after. It's going to say you have score space points. Now I can test how this works. Make sure the spaces are all correct. You have 1 point. Okay. Now it's something we can make Scratch Cat say. You have 1 point. It's going to be different every time. See, if we reset this, now my score is 0. Scratch Cat's going to say, you have 0 points. Right? However many points you have, that's what it's going to say. So this right here is the thing that we're going to, here, I'm going to go ahead and stop this. This is what we're doing. So this is part of reset. Right? Yeah, set the score to be 0. Welcome the player. That part's the same every time. Then we're going to ask a question. We're going to check if answer equals whatever the correct answer is. We know that because we made up the question. Then I want you to, play a sound. Then you're going to let them know that they got it correct and change your score if they get it correct. Or else, if they get it wrong, you're going to let them know that they got it wrong. Repeat the answer that they gave, telling them it's not correct, and then tell them what the correct answer is. Okay? Then you're also going to, as part of each question, you're going to tell them how many points they have. So this part right here, once you've written this, this is the part you're going to duplicate. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. I'm going to connect that up, and now I'm going to change parts of this. Right, so now all this is written, right? There's a lot less to do in the future. So from here on out, right, now I can just ask, right, okay, so, what color is Scratch Cat? Right, so what color is Scratch Cat's nose? I don't know. Color Scratch Cat's nose. Now we know the answer to that question. We can tell this by looking at Scratch Cat. The answer that they should give to get it correct is going to be black. So we're going to type that in there. We don't know what they're going to type. That's going to get saved. Whatever they type is going to get saved in answer. And then we're going to check if the answer they gave equals black, then play a sound. Tell them correct. The answer was not 2. The answer was black. And then down here, and we give them 1 point. That's if they get it correct. Then if they get it wrong, it's going to branch to this code instead. We're going to say wrong answer, whatever they say, is not the right answer. The correct answer is black. We're going to have to simplify that. There you go. And then it's still going to tell them they had this many points. So we need to test it out. We don't even have to connect it up. We're just testing out this one question. What color is Scratch Cat's nose? Get it wrong on purpose. Scratch Cat says wrong. Duh is not the right answer. The correct answer is black. And you have 0 points. So there you go. Now we can test it out again the other way. What color is Scratch Cat's nose? So I'm going to type in black. Scratch Cat plays the sound, says correct. The answer was black, and you have 1 point. Right now, I think I'm going to add this to be maybe 3 seconds because it wasn't really on the screen long enough. I think probably that one also needs to be 3. Maybe 3 is the right answer for these. Anyway, you can adjust that, but please do be mindful of that. Adjust them as we go. Right, then we're ready to connect that one up together, and we're going to do it again. Duplicate this. Whoops, I don't want to make a comment right now. Duplicate this, and we're going to do the next question. And that's the big idea. You're going to continue in that way until you have 5 questions. I'm not going to do that right now. My video is already getting longer than I want it to be. Once you have 5 questions, right now I only have 2 questions. 1, 2. Right, this is the part that you're going to repeat. If you need to pause this video, take a screenshot of this, refer back to this, note the time of the video or whatever, go ahead and do that. This is the part that you're going to do 5 times. When you are done doing that 5 times, then at the end, so pretend this is the 5th time now, you're going to check if they got them all right or not. And that's going to be one more if block. We're going to say if the variable that we made, in this case it's score, if score equals, I have 5 questions. So if score equals 5, that means they got them all right. So if score equals 5. If score equals 5, then that means they got them all correct. Actually, no, what I do, I want to use an if then else block for this also. If then else. So if score equals 5, then tell them that they got them all correct. Right? Congrats, you win, whatever, right? Your win message. This is how you have different endings in your video game, right? I know a lot of you've played different video games out there, and you know it's always kind of a fun thing when you can. There's different ways you can get a better ending in some video games. So this is kind of how they do that at the end. So if score equals 5, you can say, congrats, you win, right? Or if score equals anything else, you can say, try again next time. You missed some or whatever. You know what I mean? Something like that. So that's the big idea. And, probably 3 seconds is better for these also. Actually, these ones are ones that it's the end of the program anyway. You might as well leave them up there for a good long time. Right. So that's the big idea. Then you're going to test this out. Now, I still have 1 point from before, so we're going to test this out. When I get to the end, if I have 1 point, Scratch Cat's going to say, try again next time. You missed some or whatever. It's going to say something like that. Now, what if I want to test this being 5? I actually don't have to go through and play the whole game again. I'm the programmer. I can temporarily set score to whatever I want so I can test some stuff. I want to set it to 5. Now score is 5. Now I can test it that way. If score equals 5, congrats, you win. So I don't have to run back through and play test this 20 different ways to test all the different things that could happen. Right? I just want to show you an example of that. But we do also want to play test our project all the way through. Make sure that it is working. Right? So test it out, read it, pretend that you're a user, do things that a user would do, and see what ends up happening, and make sure that it works the way that you think it's going to work. All right, what color is Scratch Cat's nose? We said that it was black. If you spell it wrong, it's not going to give you any credit for that. It doesn't know. And then it should tell me I have 2 points, and then it should say congrats. Right? So, right? Why is it only 2? Well, right, because there's not 5 questions, actually. I would have to add it so that there was all the way 5 questions. For me, there's only 2 right now. So this would be getting them all correct. You're going to have 5 questions, and so yours is going to be 5. And so I'll leave it looking that way. But that's the big idea. So then once you have done this, right, you're going to get yourself a better title than Untitled. Make sure that you do get yourself a better title than Untitled. Then you're going to share your project by clicking share. You're going to copy the link, get the link to your project and copy that. And you're going to go back to Canvas. And in your student view, I can show you. You go back to Canvas, and you're going to click this button right here to submit the assignment. Then down here, it says copy and paste the link to your website. You're going to paste that in right here, paste. Put a note in here if you want to leave me a comment or anything. I'll get that message, and then you're going to click Submit Assignment. Make sure that it throws the candy or whatever this is and tells you that it was submitted or it ain't submitted. All right, and that's it for this one. All right, folks, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.